since what? Late November since we've done a regression problem? So, the big question is, do you remember where you go to enter data in your calculator?
Yep.
You have to be in a new document. So yes, this has to be a document. Can't be done on a scratch pad. So you have to go new document. No, I don't want to save mine. And you are correct, whoever said list of spreadsheets. All right. And we are going, I should have told you, we are going to page 515. We're going to, yeah, they have the data.
Hopefully you got your book.
And I want to end with this faster, so I'm going to come over here and type. Just type in there beside the exit number 58. It's number 58 where we're talking the atomic number and the melting point of that element. Okay, remember when you have to put a label at the top of the column, but it cannot have spaces in it, so we got to figure out how to abbreviate atomic number. No, it won't. I like it. It doesn't like the number sign. That one's dead.
Got red.
Oh, it'll work now.
What do you click on when you put it? When you tell me. I still need my new headline. Here we go.
Atomic number and
Melting.
Yeah, I'm not. Do you have an extra calculator?
I have an extra black one, which will do the same thing for this one. Okay, so Kyler's got 12. DJ, you've got which one? 23. All right, so you all probably beat me too, just, but I can type that. 11, 15. And melting point of. Oh shoot, it's still recording. I stopped it. Rats. Sorry. So, once you've got your data in there, if I just want to see this data graphed, where do I go? We add a new page, and how do we add a new page? Control doc is your add a page, and what kind of a page do you add for this kind of a graph? This is a data and statistics because we want a scatter plot. So we're adding a data and stats page. And then right now it's just randomly put these points out here. How do I tell it which one goes where?
You click on the bottom.
Click on the bottom and tell it atomic number is the bottom. And then come over here to the left side and click, and I want melting point on the left. And golly gee.
Is that it?
There's a graph. Is it linear?
Yes.
No, that's got a definite curve to it. That's a line would not fit this well. Okay, of the graphs we did this chapter, parabolas and scrabolas. Think any of those might fit this?
Scrabble.
Or square roots and cube roots?
Looks like half the Scrabble.
Well, we're going to try what's called power regression. And power regression is a pretty elaborate function on your calculator. Because not for you, what's going on, what's been pre-programmed that you don't have to deal with. What it actually does is your calculator will attempt to figure out an equation in this form that fits that. It could have any coefficient in front, and it could have any power. So it's got to try fitting x squared, x cubed, every fraction, every decimal power. It has to consider every possible exponent there could be, which is pretty overwhelming. So sometimes it will take your calculator a while to process a power regression, because this is way more complicated for it as far as what's going on internally to figure this out. So it may turn out it'll find out a Scrabble fits best, a Scrabble could be a root, who knows. So we're going to get that data in there. So now this, if you recall, this is the part about the inspires that isn't so good. I can go right now and tell it to put on a power regression. How do I do that? Menu. Analyze. Number 6, regression. Power, which is number 7. Okay, and what it does, it shows it to us. It fits it. It gives us the equation. Can we use that equation to calculate anything? No, this is the annoying, ridiculous part of the inspires. No, we can see it. It looks nice. Looks like a really good fit. I'm pretty impressed with how well it fits. If I extend it out farther into the future, I think it's going to still continue to fit these atomic numbers well. So it's a very nice fit, but I can't calculate anything. Because you'll notice, and I went too far from my book, they ask you one of the alkali metals is francium. It's not in the table. It has an atomic number of 87. How can I use this model, this equation it's got, to figure out what the melting point will be on something that's got an atomic number of 87? Your graph's not working? Okay, so you had to recall, in order to get it to calculate anything, you had to go back to your spreadsheet. How do I go back to the first page? Control left arrow, yes. Or you could go click on the 1.1, whichever. Okay, and you have to tell it to run the regression again. Okay, so we go back. Be sure you're on an empty column. We go back to menu, but which one is it under this time? It's not even under the same thing. Nope, not table. Statistics 4. 1, stat calculations. And then there they are again. This time power regression is number 9 out of the list. So statistics, stat calculations, number 9, power regression. Okay, what's it asking me when it's asking me X list? What data is your X coordinates? So was it our atomic numbers or our melting point? Our X coordinates are our atomic numbers, so you'd have to hit your arrow and tell it atomic number is your X coordinates and your Y list is your melting point. Okay. You don't need to change anything else, but you do need to pay attention to the third line. That's telling you where it's going to store this equation. In my case, since I started a new document, it's going to store it in F1. If you were using a document you used before, it might be in F2, F4, who knows. So in this case, it's going to store it in F1. That's important to know where it's stored. So, okay. And then if you recall, we get all this lovely stuff over here. Tells us what A would be in the equation, what B would be in the equation. Which one tells us how well it fits? R squared you had to use on quadratics. Everything else we use plain R, which is correlation. Why is it negative? What direction is your curve going in? Well, it's coming downward, so it's negative. Doesn't mean it fits bad, just means it's got a downward direction. That's all it has. That's all it means. So 99%, I'm thinking is a really good fit. 99 is a great fit. So we like that part a lot. Okay, the question was though, if we have an atomic number of 87 for francium. Okay, you remember where you could go to look up and say, hey, use my equation and look up that for me. It's the table. How did you get to the table? We went to Control C. You want it to calculate with F1. Okay, it's at 0. I need to be at 87. Menu, table, edit table. I'm impressed. You guys know something. 87. Tell it where you're going to start. Okay. So melting point is going to be 22.9. Are we in Celsius or Fahrenheit? Got it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So 22.9, almost 23 degrees Celsius. Okay. I didn't ask you to do it this time, but just since you're all proving so brilliant that you remember this. What if I said something melts at 50 degrees Celsius? What atomic number might it have? Do you remember how you could go find it backwards? You had to do a regular graph, not the scatter plot graph. You had to do a regular graph and do what?
And find where it intersects.
You had to put a line across at y equals, in this case, y equals 50, and intersect it. Yeah.
Let's do that.
You want to do that? Seriously?
No.
Are we gonna have to do it on the side?
Okay. Add a document, add a page, sure we can graph it, because it's already there. Is my equation already in here?
Yes, that's one.
Yeah, if you go up an arrow, it's in F1. That's why I said remember F1. It puts the equation in F1. How do you get it to graph it? Yeah, you have to get past the F1 and just press enter. It graphed it. I see nothing. Yeah, I need to zoom out. This baby was way higher than this. We just aren't seeing it at the moment. So we could set our own window. We can try just zooming out. Sometimes zoom out works. Sometimes you have to set a window. What do you want to try?
Zoom out works.
Window settings. Oh, I'm hearing more window settings. Okay. Window settings means you have to understand what you're doing. Okay. Export is our atomic numbers. So what can our atomic numbers run between? 0 to chemistry people. Any idea what the highest atomic number is? 100 and something, but I really can't tell you. I know.
So what are we gonna do? 150.
I know it's not any higher than 150.
It's in your plan.
Okay, it's in your planners. There you go. Okay, and then my Y max, what was our this baby was coming down. What kind of high temperatures do you think we're going to have? We had 180 as our highest, and that was on an atomic number of 3. So how high do you want to go on your Y coordinates? 500. Okay, 500. Whoops, that was 60,000. That's not good.
What about the lowest?
Well, essentially it's 0. Well, it can't melt below freezing. At this point, I would leave. If you notice that graph was becoming an asymptote, it's flattening out, so it's not going to go lower. So I wasn't going to bother to mess with that one. Oh shoot! And then okay, that's my window. I can see my graph. How do I get my intersection?
You have to do a line.
I have to go tab, and I said let's find when it's at 50, didn't I? So if we do y equals 50, okay, it's intersecting way down here at the bottom. And then you got to go find the intersection. Menu, analyze graph, intersection. Am I below it or not? I can't see. Dude. Enter. Go to the upper side. Surely I'm past it. I hope. Enter. Intersection is about 25.65, almost 66, so in that range. Okay, do you want your reviews now? Okay. Did I stop that, baby? No, it's still ticking.